Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network. We're GABNET, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Let's capture you. I mean, who are all these people who are watching these cooking shows? They're stoners, right? So I'm wondering, is this a program that Netflix has absorbed? I don't know, what is the purpose of Netflix making a 14-minute show? Now, aside from those 2 interesting facts about this show, the show is fucking terrible. Do not watch this show. It fucking sucks.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Join Alex Bennett on the Ramble.
Say goodbye to the unions.
Renee, what was the decision? And then we'll go to Patrick.
It doesn't matter. Just say goodbye to the unions.
No. But I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you what was in the decision yesterday.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, let me look it up.
Yeah, he'll go look it up at GlennBeck.com.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
Most high school boys, what have we got on our mind? Sex and girls and sex and sex and sex.
And booze and drugs.
Yeah, the Asian guys I knew in high school, I'm sure they thought that way, but perhaps they were more disciplined about it. Although there was this Japanese girl in high school that your old friend, the Black Avenger, had the hots for. Oh, my God. Be still my sake wanting to drink self.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Well, and even if you did that, it doesn't give you the right to grab your Uber driver's private. I mean, and like, what part of that to him sounded like a good idea?
Oh, she played a special song.
Finally, you can get hot and bothered on Connections at 10 p.m. Eastern Monday, and by delay Tuesday through Friday at 1 a.m. Eastern.
Now, of course, you got your Bundy barbecue. We did that here. It's going to be cool. So we have a few of them out of the state of Florida, right? We got Danny Rawlings.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we can look at that. That'll be fun. So, okay. So, well, I don't want to shoot the whole lot right there. No.
I'm sure Dahmer will come up somewhere.
Dahmer! Oh, yeah. He was fun. A looker, too.
Catch up on all the shows with our Weekend Flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GABNET. It's new. It's daring. It's talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GABNET page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
We're GABNET, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Harlan Ellison totally insisted that there were no sounds in space on Babylon 5. Watching it for 20 minutes will clearly show that there are sounds in space. So what the fuck are you pulling this out of, Mr. Harlan Ellison? That pretty much cemented the idea of who Harlan was in my brain.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Join Alex Bennett on the Ramble.
You don't think Bill Clinton's a pervert?
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I really don't. I think I think he's a man who let his dick talk for him. You know, I think he's a guy who was pursued by a young woman and should have said no, but he didn't. Now, the only woman I ever talked to that fucked Bill Clinton was Jennifer Flowers. She kept saying during the interview, you know, I really did have sex with Bill Clinton. And I asked her the question. I said, that's not what's important to me. What's important to me was he a gentleman? And she said, he was terrific. She said, every time we'd have sex, the next day he would call and see if I was okay. He never dodged my calls. If I wanted to call him, he was absolute gentleman.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
We now know that Trump doesn't hate all Democrats. He at least likes the Democrats who he perceives to be as crooked as he is.
Ah, wait a minute, ring that bell.
I mean, between Menendez and Blagojevich, you know, who he pardoned.
Mm-hmm. If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
There's a lot of long-ass games come knockout round because they have to finish. So you have to play up to 120 minutes plus a penalty shootout. A penalty kick shootout.
Finally, you can get hot and bothered on Connections at 10 p.m. Eastern Monday and by delay Tuesday through Friday at 1 a.m. Eastern.
Many customers have seen a young girl in
period clothing. Do it. Just say it. I can't say it. Because she knows, even though it means something totally different, immediately she's thinking she's wearing rags.
Bloody Mary.
Come on, do
Bloody
it.
Mary.
That
Bloody Mary.
That was my own joke. What? Were you looking in the mirror when you did that?
No.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of The Ramble, heard here and seen here on GabNet, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GabNet laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett /live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey! Hey, hi, how are you? Welcome to our medley of promos. The reason we had to have a medley of promos was that for some reason, I don't know, this can happen, I guess. It's part of the goofiness that is running an internet program of this sort. Damien's encoder didn't stop, and it wouldn't clear the channel for me to go on the air, so I had to keep playing perpetual promos so that you could at least hear something when we were doing the video on GabNet. So anyway, we're on now, and everything's fine. And life is good, I guess. It's sort of good. It's okay. It's all right. Anyway. Hey, listen, I got a little something tonight, a little presentation here that I threw together. It's no big deal. I just did it. It's actually a boring home movie, about as boring as you can get. I did I took my new iPhone out, and I did a day in the life of Alex Bennett. Actually, it's kind of some of the day in the life of Alex Bennett. And I just edited it together today, and I thought I'd show it to you. So here goes nothing, okay? Okay. It's morning. And I'm going over to Costco because I need a hard drive. So why don't you come along with me? We'll go get the hard drive. Actually, I want to get a mini hard drive, I'm trying to resuscitate an iMac that has a bad hard drive in it. And if I simply get another hard drive, make it the boot hard drive, I think I can get it to work fine, or at least be usable, because I don't want to have to open up that damn thing. It's almost near impossible, and replace the hard drive that's already in it. And because it's so old, I don't want to pay to have it done. So now I'm simply trying to get a cab here. Let's see if we can find one. In New York, you can always tell when a cab's available because the light on top is lit. And in this case, we don't see any lit lights. I don't know what happened. This corner used to be great for getting cabs. And now, I don't want to get run over by a bus. Now it's not as good. Maybe, do I see a light there? No, I guess I don't. Usually if they're in that lane, they've got somebody. Oh, maybe the police car will take me. But there are no cars. Used to be that I could get them in seconds here, and now it's getting rougher and rougher, and I have no idea why. This used to be a great corner. There's my apartment. Isn't that beautiful? It was built in 1920. Let me see here. Is this guy available? I guess he is. Okay. I'm going to Costco. Okay. You know where that is? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, good. And the next stop is Costco. Although, we have an app for the Alexa, and we put all the stuff we want to do when we go shopping. And this week she wants Pellegrino, and a box of Pellegrino is very heavy, and I have to take the cart. So I decided that I wouldn't get the Pellegrino today, and I wouldn't drag the cart with me, and I'll do it later in the week. But anyway, this is a New York City mall, actually. Although, how much longer a mall is going to last, Because with Amazon and things like that, who needs a fucking mall? You've got a mall on your computer. So, anyway, take a look at it while it's still here. Let me get I gotta go get a cart. And then there, I'll just go get one of these, and we'll head on inside. Got to stop the camera because I have to get my wallet to show them my card. Well, let me see here. Let me get my wallet with my card. Okay? Oh, my thumb got it. Don't worry about it. Let me see here. I gotta get my card out. There we go. I can show it to this person here. Sorry for the bad camera work, but I had to show him my wallet. Let's see. Why do I have this? I don't even need this. Let me see here. Here we go. This is what I'm here. 5 terabytes. How much? $119. Well, all they have is the 5 terabytes. Well, I guess I'll get the 5 terabytes. Okay. Yep. That's what I will do. Gee, it now maybe it's into 5 terabytes, but of course they charge $20 more for the 5 terabytes. But if that's all you can get, that's all you can get. This is our Costco, by the way. It's, is this exciting? Yeah, very exciting. Usually they usually line this off.
Passive.
To that little check mark, they had to okay it because it was a item over $100. I've had items over $100 before and never had that problem. Costco just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Just terrible. Anyway, we're gonna go take the car home now. This is where we get them. Cost me $10 to get home. Cost me $10 to go there. I didn't save that much money for this. Yeah, hi. Here we go. Thank you. I'm going to 7th Avenue between 116th and 117th on the uptown side.
106 and what?
No. Listen to me. I'm going to 7th Avenue between 116th and 117th on the uptown side.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. And here we are at Graham Court. Where I live. Let me get out my keys. Where are they? Oh, there they are. All right. Excuse me, sometimes when the camera doesn't exactly stay straight up because I have to do something, so... There we go. This is how you get in case anybody wants to know. Here we go. This building is, well, it was built in 1900, so it's 118 years old. Boy, my bad at addition. It's 218 years old, and we're at the very top. It turns a corner there. There's where we live. Okay. The landlord doesn't take great care of this building, unfortunately. I mean, our apartment has the wow factor, as we call it. But let me see here. Oh, I have to, yeah, that's the right key. When I'm doing video, there we go. Okay. See, look how terrible this lobby looks. Look at the terrible job they did trying to patch that up. Rather than getting tiles to fill in, which an artisan would have to do, they don't fix it at all. And this is just a dingy looking lobby. When I first saw it, I went, how good can that apartment be? And, well, let's go up to the 8th floor, and we'll see how good that apartment can be. I guess I spend half my life in this elevator because, again, the landlords don't care to put a high-speed elevator in. So 2, we're going up to the 8th floor. It's not like we're on the 2nd floor, and I could just walk up 1 flight, which would be healthy for me. Of course, walking up 8 flights would be even healthier for me, but my legs start wearing out about the 6th floor. And so 7 and 8 are a living hell. But anyway, here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just wanted to see how long this ride is. Have you suffered with me? Okay. And 8. I'm teaching everybody how to come and rob us, but you really can't because we have a big door with big locks, and when we leave, we have 4 locks we can set. So let me see here. Let me get my big key out here. There we go. Now I'll show you the inside of the apartment. Let's see it. Now this is not as dingy. But then again, it's been better taken care of by the people who live on the floor. There are only 2 other apartments. Let me see here. Let me open this up. There we go. It's a little sticky these days. Here we go. Turn the lock. Get that taken care of. Okay. All right. So this is the apartment. This is our living room, right? With our red was a TV set on the wall, but this is our living room, and then this is our we have a fireplace, by the way, and this is our living room, and there's where the iMac is right now that I'm rejuvenating. It's the only place in the house I had room to do it. Then we go over to the second fireplace on the other side of the first fireplace. We've got a wonderful kitchen here, a lot of room in the kitchen. Little pantry with it. In the old days when this was first built, this was the maid's quarters. See, there's a bathroom off of it. Let me see here. Let's go down the hall. Yes, we have a hall, and it's not a, it's pretty decently long hall. Here's our there we go, our bedroom. Oops, I've got the TV set on, and there are people down in Florida dressed up in their slickers, all trying to show how brave they are. And we really have a great view out our window, although you can't see it today because it's a little on the dingy side. Let me turn the sound down here so you don't have to hear the TV. It's not a nice day today, but what a view we get out our window. You can barely see the buildings. They're shrouded in mist. So anyway, but this is our bedroom. This is where we sleep and where we watch TV and do all the other things that a married couple in their late 70s do. And then we go down the hall. This is where guests stay, actually, and it's also a second studio that I use. This is the guest room. Not bad, huh? 4K TV set and all the amenities. We'll even put a mint on your pillow. Oh, and that's next door. They're destroying the apartment. So if you hear hammering, that's what that is. And we got this. And this is the bathroom. There's nothing spectacular in the bathroom. And finally, this is the studio and the office. This is where we all do our stuff. This is the main one that I use for the shows. This is my main computer, my Mac, where I store everything. This is the server where we, well here, I'll turn it on here for you for a second. You can see, this is where we serve the show, the network, the 24/7 network out. There we go. Okay. And as you can see, it's transmitting. And finally, this is Marjorie's computer. And there's me reflecting in Marjorie's computer. And this is our little office and studio and everything else. Okay, well, I got some work to do here, installing and uninstalling this thing. So I'll see you in a little while. What you didn't see is I did my interview that I do once every couple of weeks with Stephen Pearl. Had to do that, okay? And now I am getting myself ready to go down the street and, yes, work out. I think we're through. Well, that's how it worked out for today. Not much, because I didn't have a towel, and I didn't want to sweat too much. Now I got to go into the pharmacy and go get Marjorie her medicine. Nothing better than working up a sweat and then having to shower. If I didn't have to work up the sweat in order to feel good about the shower, I'd do more showers. Let me see here. We only put on a little bit of hot. Just a little bit of hot, a lot of cold. And then there we go. It's a little on the hot side. Ooh. Let me see if I can turn it down here. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is the hot water is really hot, and the cold water isn't sufficient. So you've got to constantly turn this thing down. Oh, there we go. It's better. I'm taking my shower. Well, I can't do my head and all this stuff I got to do while I'm holding this. So. Oh, you can see my ugly body here. Oh, let me see here. It gets too wet unless I do this. Bye. There we go. Nothing nicer than a bathrobe to sop up all the juice. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I think I have to brush my teeth. Came home. Yeah.
Who are you talking
I wanted to catch you coming into the room.
Do you want me to go out and come back in again?
Yeah, sure. Come back in. We'll restage this. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Say when.
Action!
Hello!
You're home
I'm
from
here.
work? Oh, dear, sweetheart is home from work. Give your lover a kiss.
Mwah!
There we go.
Who is that?
Huh? Nobody.
Who are you talking
Nobody.
to?
I'm just doing a day in the life of me, which can be very boring. Oh, look who I'm watching, Beck. Yeah.
So did you have a good time at the gym?
Oh, I had a wonderful time at the gym.
You're not watching the weatherman
Oh, by the way,
out?
your laxative isn't ready because it had to be called in. You ordered it, the last one last month, and they didn't re-up
month is enough. They don't know how much I'm using. I'm going through that in a month.
She's got to clear out her body
by Friday.
By Friday, because she's getting a colonoscopy.
And it's not a normal clearing out. This is like 4 months of clearing out.
Yeah. No, it looks good. Don't worry about it. I don't look that great today either. It's just a day in the life of me. And part of the day in the life of me is you and I sitting here
Do you believe what I have to live with? Do you believe that this is it? This is all that I'm going to get? This is it? This is the highlight of my day? Sitting in bed and watching TMZ with Alex.
Yeah. That we watch TMZ every day.
This is so pathetic, my life.
This is the thing we bond with.
This is so pathetic. God help me. What's your problem?
I didn't videotape dinner. And that was a very good dinner that you made. It was shrimp scampi.
Shrimp fried diablo. There's enough for one more meal tomorrow, so you can have it if you want.
But I should have videotaped us eating.
Well, at least showing what it looked like.
I forgot that I was doing a day in the life of Alex Bennett.
Audience, this guy has too much time on his hands.
That's right. Yes, eating dinner. That was the dinner. That's what's left. That's her shrimp scampi. It was very, very good, in spite of the fact that she served it with noodles, which of course I glommed up because noodles go so good with this. But anyway, sorry you didn't get to see us have dinner, but there's what's left of it. Well, this is kind of the end of our day. Nothing much happened today, and I'm getting ready to do the show, and this is where we do it from. We're ready to go on the air. So this is kind of the shot you're used to seeing on the broadcast. This is the shot we're going to close with. So that's a little bit of my day and what happens during the day. And I'm sorry if it was really boring, but I don't live an exciting life any longer. There's no more life in the passing lane. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope this wasn't too boring.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Let me turn this up. Okay. Got to get everything right. Everything that go wrong tonight went wrong. But at the very beginning of our show tonight, we had a problem with the what we do is what the hell happened? Jeez almighty. Oh, what was that? Gee, I can't believe what happened. Anyway, okay, well, it's all working okay. All right. Something just decided to go blank on me here. It's a night full of technical problems. No, what happened was what happens, Damien does his show, and then when he's through, we have a thing called encoder. And what you do is you use the encoder to send the signal to what do you call it? The place that sends out the signal, the uplink, and the thing you listen to, the stream. So when he's through, he turns his off, and then I turn mine on. But if he doesn't turn his off, then I can't turn mine on. We got a problem. Okay, so somehow, and I don't think it was his fault, okay, there was just some kind of ghost in the machine, and the encoder, he may have turned it off or thought he turned it off, or it may have gone off, but somehow it didn't release the stream. Now, I can kill the stream from here, but I forgot how to do it because I haven't had to do it in 2 years, okay? So because I could only had to do it about 2 years ago, I had to go back and figure out how to do it. In the meantime, I told him, why don't you just kill your modem and stuff, and maybe that'll do it. And it did it, and I had a stream back, and it was a mess. Okay, but it's not Damien's fault. It's just the technology. But thank you, Damien, for acting very quickly on that. And then I got his show, and whatever glitch there was on his end showed up on the final. He then uploads, you see, his show to our playlist here, and then I go to that and I make it into stuff so that it goes on to all the other things. Is this making any kind of sense? Anyway, the fact was that there was a tail on the end of his show that was just nothing, and I had to edit that out, and that's probably whatever went wrong there, because it's the encoder that he uses that also records the program. All right. So consequently, I had to do that editing, and I did that, and I had to change it in the playlist, and then I had, and then one thing, and then I'm still trying to do a show here, and you're watching the video, and the audio is all over the place because we got a problem. There's a problem with using the iPhone to do a video. I like to say things from behind the camera. The only thing is, when the camera is shooting the front, okay, it uses the front microphones, and when I wanted to use the back, it uses the back microphone. So if I'm using the front and I talk from the back, you can't hear me too well because the microphones in the front are picking me up from the back. You get me? So that's the problem with the iPhone. They got to do something to correct that, to give us the choice of having all mics on, But anyway, be that as it may, I hope you enjoyed my little presentation. And to see an ugly old man in the shower, not a pretty sight. Let me see here. What else? So I opened up the Skype lines, and I don't know if anybody's going to call tonight. Phil isn't going to call tonight, so that means, Tom, you can call if you're out there. Jeff, you can call. All you other people, you can call. I would love to hear from you because it would be a great help to me. Plus, my air conditioning, I think, is finally on its last leg. I think I'm going to have to buy a new air conditioner for in here next year. So that's my other thing. Plus, I don't think we're going to have cool summers any longer, right? It just doesn't appear so. So anyway, I'm sitting here waiting for people to call. And as usual, as I've always threatened in the past, if they don't call, I'll just end this whole thing early, But our lines are open, and you can call us. I had a thing happen to me today. I don't know how to say this because I don't want to give up the idea of what. Oh well, I'll talk about that later. What the hell? Because people are calling, and as long as people are calling, yeah, there we go. How you doing? That's Scott, good. That's Scott Boddicker, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. And then on top of all these problems that I had, for some reason, for a minute or for a second or so, all my OBS Studio, which is the thing I switched the show with, suddenly disappeared off the screen and then came back. And apparently everything's cool and okay and working fine, But geez, it's just been one technical glitch after another tonight. So
that was a good show, though. I liked your little life.
My life? That you mean my lack of life, really, if you think about it.
I hope to live so long.
Yeah. Oh, Damian Chaplin just gave me the thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you, Damian. I mean, who knows what happened on his side? We'll never know. But it's like. Last night, here comes Rob. Good old Rob. Hey, Rob, how are you this evening? Are you there, Rob? Rob, are you there? There he is. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Rob. By the way, Rob just turned out another promo for me, and he said he didn't have a studio to do it in, so he did it by glitching up the whole thing. I don't know. How did you do it? You just stuck the microphone in a...
No. It's nothing works. I was able to get the microphone to. First, I couldn't get the internet to work anymore on it for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. So I couldn't connect to Dropbox, and I don't know. I haven't even gone up there in months, and I haven't turned it on since the last promo I did for you. That's why I'm always down here, in another room, because I'm completely fed up with that room. It's going to take a ton of work to get it back in shape, and I really just I haven't really felt like I really want to dive in and unplug a whole shit ton of cables and figure out where problems are, because it's just so much work.
Well, in the meantime, if I need promos, you can do them whatever way you did it. The sound was just fine.
Well, that's good as long as the sound was fine. And I couldn't even play it back. So I finished it. I edited it, right?
Yeah.
I cut out all my flubs and stuff, and then I did that with headphones on, and then I went to play it before I sent it to you, and I couldn't hear it. No matter what I tried, I couldn't hear it.
Wow.
So I have no idea what's wrong in there. Again, it's just going to be hours, and I mean hours of work, because it all needs to be disconnected first. And you know how many wires that is.
I have often thought about, the thing is, this is a rat's nest I've got here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a rat nest of wires. Now you say, okay, I'll undo everything. I mean, I'll unplug everything and then replug everything together. You know how long that's going to take, folks?
Right.
That's going to take me at least a week, if not more so. And then we have to hope I remember how everything was wired originally.
And you know what? That was my problem, because my studio worked perfectly when I was in the old house. I took it apart. It was apart for months because, I was in two different places. I got here and I couldn't, I never got it really working properly. Like, I could never feed anything from the board through Skype. Don't know why. Can't figure it out. I thought I hooked it up the right way. So I just got fed up with it.
I just say, good, I'll have the rat's nest of wires.
I think that's probably best.
And if I need to rewire something, it'll be one thing to another thing, and I'll just do it better than I did it before.
Yeah,
but
you're going to be on your knees, and it's going to be a week. You're right.
Also, because these studios kind of get, as they get built in segments. First you put in the computer, and then you put a thing in to make audio go into the computer, and then you buy yourself a control board, and then you hook that into the computer, and one thing after another. By the time you're finished, you've got a whole thing here, and I forget how it works. Tonight, when I had to, when I had the situation with Damien and his encoder not unloading, and I'm just, I'm not able to put the program on the air, there is a way for me to kill his signal, and it's a matter of me going to the server that serves out our signal and telling it to kill whatever is going into it right now. It just kills it, and then you can go ahead and do it, right? I did that maybe 2 years ago. And I couldn't even remember the password to get into it to do it. I finally figured it out after we got everything on, and I just, for my own, my own knowledge, I went back and figured out how it worked. Okay, but that took time. So I couldn't remember how I did it years ago, and that's as it should be, actually. How are you supposed to remember? And
documented.
Huh?
Documented.
You can. Well, I've got it in my mind now. I know how to do it, but I'm sure I won't write it down, and we'll still continue to have the same problem. Next time we have the problem, I'll have to figure it out all over again. But I could have, if I had known what to do immediately, I could have done it in half a minute and killed his signal. But I couldn't do that. So, what the hell, Yeah, it's just the way things go. But everything went wrong, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting here, and my OBS suddenly decides to just disappear, and then it came right back, and it didn't stop recording, it didn't stop streaming. So I assume everything's cool with the video. So, hello, Patrick. Hello, Jeff. Hello. Brian.
Hello.
Hello, trees. Hello. Anyway, let me see here. Yes, Jeff.
My life is just about like yours.
It's just about
Costco.
Yeah, it's just about as dull, huh?
That's true.
Yeah, and then you had that, and you also know you probably, since you don't have a camera on you don't know what it looks like to be an old man in a shower.
I know one guy, and it's me.
Yeah.
Now that I've added you to my shower list.
It didn't look that terrible. It's just that, everything that used to go up now goes down. That's all, It's all a matter of, as you get older, gravity is your worst enemy.
That's true. That's true.
The rest of you kids who are there don't have to put up with that. I had a strange thing happen to me. Let me tell you the story. I don't want to name names. I don't want to say where or who or anything like that, because God knows I solved the problem. But my friend Walter Sabo was in, and I said to him, I know somebody who's taking over a certain station here in the country. Could you get a hold of that person? They're in San Francisco. And he said, okay, sure, be happy to. And he wrote him a note and said, Alex Bennett, you may know of, blah, 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 blah. And the guy wrote back, I know Alex. He used to put down my radio station. One day he sent over his guy to give us a bad time, and I have been pissed at him ever since.
Jesus.
And all of a sudden I went, something I did, 35 years ago has come back to haunt me, and I didn't know the guy was bothered by it. And I don't even remember it happening, okay? I just was another one of those stunts you do where there's a station across town and you bash them a lot, and then you send somebody over to give them bring them flowers or something. You do some wacky stunt, right? In this case, I had a guy with him, Chuck Farnham, and he probably showed up naked or something in their lobby. But in any event, he wrote him back and said, I have just never forgiven him for that, and I'm still pissed,
Wow.
So I felt really bad about that, because what you do in the heat of competition in broadcasting, if somebody did something against me, I just somehow would go, well, when Stern has said things about me like stealing from him and stuff like that, I've let it kind of roll off my back because, off the air, I've heard that he admired the work that I did. All right. So, you're one thing on the air and you're another thing off the air. And so what you do in the heat of competition, I never really hold against somebody. But apparently, he was really hurt by this. So I wrote him a note back because I saw the note he wrote to Walter, and I wrote him back and I said, I'm profoundly sorry. I profoundly apologize. And I didn't say this because I wanted a job out of him or I wanted to ease my conscience. I just don't want somebody to be mad at me for 35 years when, if he just called me, I would have said I was sorry at the time, right? But that was really it really got to me, made me feel really bad.
You would think that people in the business, though, understand shticky things and, you might be mad in the moment.
Yeah.
But for 35 years to hold on to that, he knows that you're doing shtick on the air. It's all for
what he said he was bothered.
Show.
What he said he was bothered by was the guy that we sent over to to his station to not prank him or whatever. And to be honest with you, to be totally honest with you, I don't remember the incident. But and I didn't do what made him mad. But whoever was doing it on my watch, so I take responsibility for it, But I felt so bad about it, not because I maybe could get a job out of him and now I'm not going to be able to, but because I really just genuinely felt bad that I had hurt somebody enough that, 35 years later, he goes, I'm still pissed at him, So I apologize. I wrote him and I apologized. I was sincere about it, too. I just said, we all do things in the heat of competition that we later regret, And so I had that problem with San Francisco, though, as a market. Because once I was out of work, there weren't a lot of people lining up to hire me, even though I was a major name in that town, because the town was somewhat petty in that respect. If you were their competition and you had this reputation on the air, they didn't think, oh, well, maybe he's just I'd like to meet him. He's probably a completely different guy, to do business with. And I was pretty much a gem to work with. I was never a headache for the most part, never a headache for my bosses. And so, but San Francisco was a little petty that way. And once you were off the air and you were their competition, you were still their competition. You know, rather than saying, hey, he was our competition, now let's make him one of us so he can be somebody else's competition for us.
Right, it's gamesmanship.
Yeah. So, but in any other market like New York, that would be a factor. You know, that's why Stern got fired from one station and got hired by another.
Right.
You know, but I felt so bad about it. It just so I wrote. That's why I wrote him a letter, because I felt bad about it. I didn't want the end of my life to come with somebody being mad at me. I guess I don't know. You know. But that was my day to day. So anyway, another job I won't get. Anyway, so it's, you know, pretty much the end of the old career. Well, I knew that a while back, you know. But anyway, once a year when he goes on vacation, I'll get a chance to substitute for Walter Sterling. So that's nice to know, you know. Anyway, so Rob, how's work? I haven't asked you. How's your job doing?
Well, very good. Yeah, can't complain. Busy.
Yeah, and you're happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they treat you well.
Yeah, you can't complain.
Yeah.
Things are good.
Yeah, I'll have to buy one of their computers someday. Say, Rob.
We don't sell computers.
Oh, you don't anymore? You sold that part of the business to somebody else?
To HP.
Well, wait a minute. Aren't you still HP, though?
No, I work for the other company, the split of the company. So we sell only data center equipment. I don't sell printers or server or
you don't sell ink?
Or laptops. Don't sell ink. Yeah, none of that. I only sell data center stuff.
Okay, but are you still, well, we can say the name HP?
HPE Enterprise.
Oh, I
the
see.
other one's HP Incorporated.
And are they two separate companies that operate completely independent of each other?
Completely separate. Stock, everything is separate.
So when
some of the board members are the same, but the companies are separate.
Well, but when
they're completely separate.
when they split them up, who went where? I mean, it's kind of like, who gets possession of the child?
What do you mean?
Well,
you mean like the real estate?
Well, I mean, did they split up because they definitely wanted to be two different companies who did two different things, or did they?
It was a behemoth company. It was just too large to really be agile.
Okay, so the reason was
they felt they needed to, you know, make it more focused.
Okay, so they did one thing, and then they, you know, well, when you've got the businesses for the home, you know, the computers, the home computers, that is a completely different business than data centers.
Oh, absolutely. It's there's nothing that's similar about it. It's a completely different audience, a completely different product set. Yeah.
Now, Jason tonight is at the car show.
He's doing what I normally do, sit in front of the car.
Yeah, he's sitting in front of his. Is that that's your car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, I've been in the garage last few times, but we finally actually, I have to use the wife's truck tomorrow, so I parked the car in here because we'll probably get some frost. So I don't want the windshield be frozen over for.
Yeah. So you're
ready?
You're in the garage, and where is she?
Sleeping.
Really? Oh, so
she has to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. So
I see.
Yeah. My wife's sleeping too because she's got to work 4 o'clock in the morning.
My wife's sleeping right now because she's got to work.
Yeah, let's put these bitches to work.
Yeah, we're a bunch of pimps, aren't we? Yeah. So anyway,
I get to work from home. She's got to get out. She's got to be up at 3 in the morning to be at work.
Yeah. What's new with your life, Patrick?
Not a whole hell of a lot.
Okay, thank you, Patrick.
I don't know.
Boy, I'll tell you, I start off this show with a very boring video of my day. Okay, and then I ask people what they do, what they did, what's new, and you go, nothing.
I got something new.
Oh, you had something new? Jeff had some excitement in his life. Go ahead, Jeff.
Started yesterday.
Yeah?
I had a back pain that was incredibly bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the spine. And so I went, it just so happened, at the same time, I was having some problems with my feet, which are kind of your area, but
yeah.
Anyway, so I go to this doctor that I'd never gone to before. And it's the same day I go, my spine got to be incredible. I couldn't even walk. I was walking like I was 110 years old. You know, always ahead.
Yeah, one of those deals. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And anyway, the guy pretty well find out what the problem is. And inside the spine is all of these nice fluids that are supposed to go around.
Oh, it's supposed to they make
spine.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you string a leak?
Not stringing a leak, but it got stiffed in those places.
Yeah.
And it wasn't flowing enough.
So what did
How they fix that?
Gave me a couple of drugs, and I went to physical therapy. That I have a new stress organization I have to do every day.
Oh boy!
But the drug is starting to work.
See, I don't like physical therapy. You know what I don't like about physical therapy? It's the only form of
you have to do something.
Let's say medicine. Yes, it's the only form of medicine where they give you homework. You know, and you're going, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to like just crack my back or something, and then I can go home and feel better till I see you next time? No.
That's a chiropractor.
Here are these rubber bands. Put them between your legs and stretch them 20 times, 3 times a day. And
it's annoying.
That's fucking annoying. You know, the only thing that he gave me that's really kind of been fun is a golf ball. I told you about the golf ball. I've got it right down here while I'm doing the show. I'm glad I remembered it. I just roll it around, kind of like I'm almost like I'm tenderizing meat, you know, to do away with the fasciitis. So that's
so.
Cool.
Hey, Alex, have you ever tried buying the little thing that you can get at the drugstore for like $20? It's a piece of plastic and some Velcro that you put on your foot, and it kind of helps hold your foot like this over nighttime, and it stretches the tendons and stuff out.
No.
That's what you're supposed. You know, it's what I've used for plantar fasciitis.
You know what I did for plantar? A long time ago, I had plantar fasciitis. In case people don't know what we're talking about, and this happened to me when I was young. Your foot has a strap in it, and as you're walking, it stretches out and it's fine. But then when you go to sleep, it tightens up, and when you wake up in the morning, your foot is killing you. Okay, yeah. So I had that, and she went out and the orthopedist, whatever she was, yeah, I guess orthopedist. She made up a thing to go in my shoe, an orthotic. That's what it's called, right? And I put in the orthotic, and guess what? My plantars didn't go away. It was still killing me. So I just gave up on the orthotic, and I said I'll just go along with this pain and hope that it eventually goes away. And what I did in the meantime is I was in a shoe store one day, and I bought some Rockports. You know what Rockports are? They're a dress shoe that they say is like a sneaker. In other words, it has all the comfort of a sneaker, but it has all the look of a dress shoe. So I bought a pair of these just for the hell of it, you know, because they look good, and I figured, hey, if they're comfy, that'd be nice too. Then I can be wearing some nice shoes while I'm, you know, with jeans, which is always a nice look, you know. And no one will know I'm really wearing tennis shoes in a regular shoe form. And I started wearing these Rockports, and my plantars went away. Just completely cleared up. All it took was a good make-a shoe to do it.
Yep.
And so for years I was wearing Rockports, but now I'm back to tennis shoes again. That's probably why I got the problem with not the numbness in the feet, but the plantar fasciitis. So, or fasciitis, or what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's fasciitis.
Fasciitis. It sounds like something Mussolini would get. Fasciitis, you know.
See, with my work boots, I I have to the soles get worn down on like the outside edge, so it makes me start walking a little crooked, or I don't get the right. I have to buy new insoles like every 6 months because I'm on my feet all day long. So I'll end up getting it. It's more my left foot than anything. But
in case the kids have just joined the program, the youngins, welcome to Oh My Aching Feet. Hey, listen, we don't even want to talk about all the things that are bothering Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Patrick, how are your feet feeling?
I've had a sore on the heel of my left foot that happened from a callus that was ripped off back in February.
Oh, yeah.
And it taken up until this last doctor visit Monday for them to tell me you probably only have one more visit and then it's done, because it went from about the size of a quarter to about the size of a pinhead.
What do you mean, about the size of a Trump?
Yeah, sure, you can say that. So that's exciting news for me.
That's very exciting. Now, let me ask you this question, though, because on the bottom of your foot, but you have no feeling in the bottom of your feet.
But the problem is, everybody here drives, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we drive, our feet do not sit flat on the floor. We usually cradle on our heels.
Right.
That's where all the pressure is. So this entire summer and spring, and now, right now, the beginning of fall, I haven't done what I normally do, which is go out and do shit all the time, because I couldn't drive for a long time because of the pressure on the heel. I had to make sure that the damn thing was...
Well, my question to you is, if you are paralyzed from the waist down, okay, why do you need your heels to be in any particular position when you're driving? You drive your car using things,
Hand
right?
controls.
But it's still the same way that when you drive, you're using your right foot, but your left leg, you usually have out, in front of you in some fashion, and not sitting like you're sitting in the chair.
Right.
So it's the same for me. My feet, I don't sit like I'm in the chair and my feet flat. They're out in front of me. So it's the same. It's the same position driving as anyone else.
By the way, I never asked you this. How much does it cost you to trick out a car so that you can do it with hand controls?
Well, originally it was $800 out of pocket, and then GM or Ford or Chrysler, they will reimburse you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's weird. You have to pay out of pocket, and then they'll send you a check. Instead of just doing it through the dealership, they want to do it through you. But this last car that I got, the dealership bought me brand new hand controls and paid to have them installed. So, but I've been going to the same dealership since '98, so 20 years.
So, Patrick, can't you buy a pumice stone and just when you take a shower, just kind of smooth out your feet?
That isn't what the issue was. It was. You would have to see my wheelchair. I was taking my sock off. I remember doing it, and I don't take my socks off like you do. I got to do them with my legs out in front of me. It's a big fucking deal.
Don't you get those things I buy on TV? Seen on TV? Take your socks off?
Do you realize in this program we've gone from oh my aching back to oh my aching feet?
Mine don't ache. I use that because I can't lift my leg up on my own. So I can't do that sort of thing. But anyway, pulling the sock off and my foot slipped off of the plate that my feet sit on. And you may see me do time to time like I'm doing now, readjust myself in the chair.
Yeah.
So that you're not sitting in one place for too long. Well,
your foot was caught.
My foot was out in front of me, and it just happened to catch what was a small callus and ripped it off.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But the thing is, that's
go into that story, and I'll go into the time I burnt my penis. Okay.
Yes.
And the 3 months it took for it to clear up, because every time I went to sleep, it would adhere to the sheet, and then I'd roll over in the middle of the night. How did that top him for that ripping off of the callus?
Ouch!
You never heard that story, Scott?
I heard it. You did it hit when you were in the oven or something?
I was barbecuing ribs in the oven, and I happened to be
in the oven. You pull out the rack. Your dick hit your rack.
I was taking a shower, and I came to turn over the ribs or whatever, and I pulled out the rack, and the rack came out and hit my penis, and I went, that's gonna hurt for a while. It was my first impression.
It always hurts me every time you tell me that. I gotta get a beer.
It took 3 months to clear itself up, but the worst part was when it would adhere to the sheets and rip itself off in the middle of the night.
Oh man!
And I always had a little scar there, which was kind of cute. It's kind of gone now, but I used to have a scar there.
Nice.
And that was at the height of my sexuality. This was driving me nuts, you know.
Did you go to the doctor to get it fixed?
No. What do? You go to your doctor and, oh yeah, I'm going to go to a doctor and tell him what a fucking idiot I was, right? And here's the other part where I was an idiot. I went, what do you do for a burn? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put butter on it. Well, you don't put butter on a burn, because all you're doing is you're pretty much basting it, okay?
Right.
What you should do is put ice on it. And if I had iced it immediately, I might not have had the problem I had. But, when it happened, the minute it happened, I went, oh, fuck. Because it didn't hurt immediately, you know. It was just I smelled the burning flesh. But anyway, that's another story altogether.
In the oven.
And I told this story on the air. I mean, I
never heard it before.
You never heard this story before? Oh, boy.
No, I guess I missed it.
I didn't put it in Life in the Passing Lane. Maybe I should do an addendum to it.
Yeah.
With all these. Huh?
You need to.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
You should have at least called for a nurse.
Yeah, I should have. Shouldn't I have? No, but I didn't even go to a doctor on it. I mean, I knew what I had done. I knew it was going to take a while. Because the trouble is, if I had burned myself on my hand, let's say, and, oh, we lost Brian. If I burned myself on my hand, you know, it would clear up in a couple of weeks or something like that. Because, in fact, I burned myself on my finger about a week ago, and it's just clearing up now. When it's something that's in your pants, that's a different story altogether, because there is no way that air gets to it. It's a very moist area, so it stays moist, and it has a much harder time clearing up. So that was my worst injury ever, I think. You know?
Yeah, that's worse than my paralysis.
I would say, if I were to say what would I rather be, paralyzed or have my penis burned again, I'd say I would rather
That'd be a toughie.
be paralyzed. Yeah, but not from the waist down, but like from the top of my legs down. You know, because otherwise my penis isn't going to work anyway. But then again, I can burn it all I want.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't work. You can't feel it. So.
You know, when I think that I've got, you know, I'm always complaining about medical stuff and this thing with my feet, but what really bothers me, it's really a pain in the ass. It hurts it's just numb all the time. It hurts, and you know, this medicine he gave me isn't particularly working, and it does make me sleep really well every night and still have enough energy to really do a show here. But when I think about that, I do think, and pardon me if I say this, Patrick, but when I start complaining about my health, I start thinking about you. And all the negatives you've had in your life physically that you've overcome, you just keep going on. And I sit there and go, what the fuck am I complaining about my numb feet for? He can't feel his, and so it's like I've started getting to the point where I just I think about other people that I know, people who are sick, for instance, and really sick. I think I never had anything like Jeff. I mean, knock on wood, I've never had something that impacted me that much. I've just had stuff to complain about. That's all.
See, when you have a major thing like that, I assume Patrick really responded the same way that I did to, like when I had a stroke and things like that. You got to make a choice, and the choice is either you're going to try to continue your life and do the best you can,
right?
Or what else do you? Well, I don't want to say it, but people have guns to salute them.
Yeah, well, you persevere.
Right, that's it. You tough. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick.
When I was at the hospital on Monday, there was a nurse walking down the hallway and asked if I wanted a push, and I said, no, I'm good. She said, I know, I was just kind of joking because I've seen you around here all the time. She said, and you always have a smile on your face. And I said, well, what else am I supposed to do? She said, well, you'd be surprised the number of people in your position that do not have the same disposition. And I said, well, you make a decision, just like Jeff just said. I said, you either go on with life or you give up. And I said, and the thing that helped me with enjoying life, even beyond everything else, is doing volunteer work with handicapped people. And I do that, I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. So it's the way to give back. And
yeah, Brian, you have your hand up.
I was just going to addendamize that as well. For those who do choose the latter option to give up, I'm tired of hearing people penalize and condescend on them, because that is as much a valid option as the option that both people like Jeff and Patrick have pursued.
Yeah.
If a person wants to end their life on account of the fact that their quality of life can never be regained to 100% of what it was before, that is their decision. Respect it and realize it's just as valid.
Well, maybe I'm speaking for Patrick here, but I would say that my philosophy, well, to begin with, what happened to Patrick happened to me. I'd be one of those whiny bitches who would be constantly complaining. You too, Rob?
Oh, I'm miserable.
The only positive value I would see in being paralyzed like that is that I can go to Costco and use one of their carts and run people down.
On your way to get your Depends.
On the way to get my Depends, exactly.
I know I would.
Embrace the suck.
Options to make which to take my own life off.
That's a great hat. Embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good motto.
Also, remember, you're talking to a person who, while he was incarcerated and alive still, that he thought that Dr. Jack Kevorkian was a war criminal that should have been awarded treatment as such.
Who's this?
When Dr. Jack Kevorkian was incarcerated for having doled out mercy to those who righteously sought it, you're talking to an ideologue, me, who thought that he should have been afforded prisoner of war status.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he didn't kill anybody. He
didn't.
He let them do it. He only he meticulously recorded every conversation on videotape. And all he did was help people who made a decision in life that this wasn't for them.
You can tell that people like Al Pacino afforded him that respect as well, considering the conversations that Jack Kevorkian himself on Bill Maher's program, not long before he did die, they had while You Don't Know Jack was being filmed for HBO.
Yeah, well...
It was a good movie. I don't know if you saw it, Rob, but you should.
Well, when I worked at Court TV, we covered the Kevorkian trial, so I'm very familiar with it, and saw a lot of the video footage that he took. And he was very, very respectful, and you'd have to go through months and months of psychiatric evaluation. He wasn't just you didn't just call him up and say, "Hey, can you help me kill myself?"
Even though I'm more extreme than that, I guess they did the months and months of psych evaluation because he had to cover his ass, which is understandable.
Well, but do you know what? There is no way if I found out that I had ALS that I want to die of ALS.
Right.
And a lot of his patients were ALS patients. That is just a horrible way to die. And these people, they all say, "I just want control. I want to control how it happens. I don't want to choke to death."
Yeah.
How many states in the union now have legalized
none
state? Well,
there's
there were like
a couple.
2 that had state-assisted suicide. Oregon's one, and
Oregon.
I think.
Oregon, I don't think you have to do anything, but doctor gives you a prescription or something, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to have 2 doctors that have to prescribe it.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2.
And then you do it. And also marijuana is legal in that state, so what you can do is get high while you're doing it. Hello, Ray Renati, by the way. Are you back in California?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We're here.
Because last time I saw him, he was live and in person.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Yes, Patrick.
Try and get this sound louder.
Reiner reminded me when I was in the house when I got there was a kid at the end of the hallway. He was 17, and this is where I became okay with assisted suicide, because this kid, he was 17, and his girlfriend and he were in a vehicle. She rolled it. She ended up with some busted bones, and he ended up a tetraplegic from the neck down, and was unable to speak, was unable to do anything other than blink his eyes for yes or no sort of thing. And there were days where I would be in the therapy room with him doing physical therapy. Now, I was actually doing things, and they would have his arm in a sling and move it, and that sort of thing. And then they'd tell him, oh, what a good job he was doing. And the one thing that got me, where I thought, this kid, his brain's working, but he knows nothing else is. What is there to look for? When I saw them throwing a ball at him, like he would catch it, and it would bounce off his chest, and they'd say, good try. And I thought, oh my God, talk about mental torture, and that this kid is going to be tube fed against his will forever. He's going to be in his 70s or 80s, and he's going to be in some facility, and he's going to go insane inside his own
I remember you telling me this story, and I remember when I asked you, Patrick, is there any way you could have asked him to blink once or twice for yes or no if he wanted to take his own life? Of course, you told me it was not your place to ask him that, and that's understandable. I can understand why you would say that, but still, I am curious. I can imagine what the answer would be. Yes, take me off.
Well, and the hard part is he can't really communicate that.
No, he can't.
It's 15 years ago I was paralyzed. That kid was 17 then. Now, he's what, 32?
Yeah.
Listen, I got to tell you.
And his girlfriend's, what's even more, add insult and salt to the wound, his girlfriend's living large and probably riding some other cock. Getting off.
Boy, you always bring it down to that, don't you?
Laugh. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just, yeah.
Well, be sure to tell next time you see him, Patrick. Be sure to tell him that. There's a show. It's funny. I'm not into network television, but I got hooked on this show because I think it's the one that my ex-wife told me to watch, but I don't know if it is. But it's called The Resident. And it's about a hospital, and it's about a resident and a couple of other people who are residents and some doctors and stuff like that. But it's a different kind. I don't like these medical shows. I get sick of them.
It's a modern-day version of House.
Well, it's not a modern-day version of House. It's a modern...
I think it is. I watch every episode. I like it.
It's a little bit House, but it's a lot complaining about the
medical
business
system we have now.
The business of medicine. Yeah, and this one episode I was just watching tonight, there was this guy, and he was old, and he had cancer, stage 4 cancer, but they wanted to do some biopsies and things like that. And he says, I don't want any of that. I just want to go home and be with my wife, and when the time comes, die. And the interns are like, the residents rather, are fighting for this guy to be able to just get out of the chair, go home, and finish off his days in relative happiness with his wife. And that's what we don't allow people to do today. We don't tell them that one of your options here is to just go home and enjoy yourself and don't go through any of the stuff. Okay.
And maybe hear something when you had a good night to be able to have that be your last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Brian.
And to delineate slightly from this conversation, still on medical drama talk, I was thinking about this for the last 2 years or so. If any network would have the balls to air a medical drama period piece set during the 1960s or like late 1950s, before Roe v. Wade, I'd love to see something like that.
Well, you know what? Also on this show, one of the episodes, this is how they tackle two big problems at the same time, and Jason seems to say he's seen the show, so he knows what I'm talking about. One of the episodes I watched was about a woman who gets sick in the hospital, and she needs something which is going to. She doesn't have medical insurance, and she's an illegal alien. And the hospital doesn't want to have to deal with her because it's going to cost them $2 million for the work she needs to have done. Plus, she's an illegal alien. So they were dealing with both these topics at the same time, and it's really
Hippocratic Oath.
It's a very good show. If you get a chance to watch it.
It sounds like the Good Doctor on ABC about the autistic surgeon.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
But the only reason he's good is because he's autistic.
But they tackle those kinds of issues as well.
Yeah. But I mean, it has more to do with the politics of medicine than anything, and doctors who are. The big doctors at the hospital, the biggest surgeon at the hospital, the money maker for them, has the shakes, but he doesn't let anybody know, and he's trying to hide it. I've only got to episode 7, so don't tell me how it turns out.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies, right?
Well, 100 years from now, everybody will die.
But you would agree with me, Jason, and you're kind of a stickler for this kind of stuff. It is a good show. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, let me talk. Let's get it a little bit. We haven't talked much about politics at all this week.
1,000 point Dow drop over the last 48 hours.
Well, we've had over 1,000, 1,300.
Yeah, no, that's
1,300 points.
It's just a correction.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the impending crash. I hope so.
No, I don't think it's the impending crash, but I hardly think I get sick and tired when they say it's a correction. Nothing's a correction where I just lost. Let me think of how much money I lost. I probably lost many thousands of dollars.
We all have
because of it. So I want Trump to parse this well. Now he's blaming the Fed. That's what he's doing. He's blaming the Fed. It's not.
Well, let's hope by this time tomorrow we're talking about a third dip.
Well, we may, but usually it doesn't go 3 days in a row. Usually there's some kind of a change, but it's not going to be like a massive 1,000 up.
Then again, I'm like Jack. I'm a bit of an anarchist myself, so.
Luckily in this one, I didn't take too much of a hit in my 401k. My 401k has actually recovered from the hit it took throughout this year. Originally I think I ended up losing over $10 to $12,000. I think I lost, and then I finally gained it back. And then with this correction, I haven't lost anything so far. So done lucky. AT&T stock's been holding pretty tight.
Yeah. Well, Yeah. You know why? Because I bought a watch and I'm using their cell service.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Must have been it.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't had buyer's remorse yet on this thing. No buyer's remorse.
What time is it, Mickey?
Oh, it's oh, wait a minute. Did somebody just say something? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody just sent me a message. Phil Meyer sent me a photo. I'll look at it later. Here we go.
It's 11:25.
Okay. And if you do it enough, it'll laugh.
It's 11:25.
No, don't do that. Here we go.
It's 11:26.
Okay.
It's 11:26.
See, there he laughed. That was him
Yeah, I
laughing.
heard it.
Anyway, so and then the Mini does the same thing.
I think it's going to be a Christmas gift this year.
I'll tell you something. It's so much better than the other watch. I can't believe it. To begin with, the screen's bigger and the picture is clearer because it's higher resolution, and it's brighter and the sound is louder. In fact, I talk to people on the phone all the time, and I'm just sitting here like this talking to them. So
I thought nobody calls you on the phone.
Well, nobody does. But
How are you talking at all
well,
the time?
occasionally
Yourself?
girlfriend will call me, or who did I talk to somebody today? Oh no, I had to talk to Jack Bishop last night because once a week he has some kind of technical problem, and so last night there's a story, there's a thing I tell my wife, and there's a thing I told Jack, and nobody ever listens to me because they forget this piece of information. When you find the computer isn't working or it isn't doing something, like you can't sign in, it won't do something, reboot it.
Are you sure that the power cord is plugged in?
No, reboot it. Just reboot it.
First thing.
First
Always.
thing. And probably all your problems will be solved. All right?
That's right.
But my wife keeps going to me, she goes, "You can't get this to work." And I go, "What is the first rule?" "I don't remember." I keep telling her, reboot. If you can't get it to work, reboot. Then if it
Yeah, you
still
can
doesn't,
remember to nag the shit out of me, but you can't remember to turn a fucking computer off.
Who are you talking about?
I would say the first one is to delete your cookies.
It's a browser issue.
That's if it's a browser issue. But
I've had plenty of issues with my computer, and deleting my cookies has resolved it.
First thing is to reboot.
Usually do that, Jason, through antivirus cleanup or whatever. It'll clean the cookies up for me and all that bullshit.
Yeah, well,
that typically happens after I do the first rule, which is to reboot the machine. If it starts acting up again, then I start thinking, it's something internal, and I got to clean it out.
Now, did anybody today see what may be the most entertaining show I've seen on television in years? Kanye West at the White House.
Oh, that.
No.
Oh my!
I put this hat on. I'm Superman.
He said, "Yeah." The minute I put on the "Make America Great Again" hat, yeah, I felt I was Superman.
Remember
this hydrogen-powered plane? You need to be driving this hydrogen-powered plane.
He only talked to him.
I said that I hope that Donald Trump has a stroke on air.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that Kanye West has a fucking nervous breakdown on air.
Oh,
Maybe
no!
they happen in synchrony.
He's already had it. He's already had it. He had it today. They say that somebody was taking count that in 10 minutes he switched topics that he was rattling on about 40 times.
Kanye did?
Yeah.
Was he frothing at the mouth at all?
You really have to go, if you have any place you can go and see a replay of it. You got to just watch it. It is.
Well, I tell you, since Kavanaugh, I've given up the news again because I just can't. I can't deal with all the craziness going on.
Well, you heard about Justice John Roberts, right? Wanting to contact and touch base with the 10th Circuit again to reevaluate the ethics investigation, wherever it was.
Really?
Alex may know better than this, or somebody else here might, or Scott even might.
What do you say, Ray?
Well, Kim Kardashian said that she's planning on one day running for president, and if she wins, Kanye will be our first husband.
That'll work.
Oh, boy.
That works for me.
Well, Kanye said
and she could win.
And he'd be the first man.
Yeah, she probably could win, Rob.
It is
superficial as this country's citizen base is.
I got to tell you,
celebrity.
I think she could win.
Yeah, she could win.
If Trump won, she could win.
And who was there with him? Who was there with Kanye? James Brown, the former
Jim Brown.
The hardest working man in show business.
Now, I wonder how Trump felt about that, because do you remember what Jim Brown was, besides being a football player, was famous for?
Yes.
What?
Music.
Raping Raquel Welch.
Well, that I think was one of the rumors. Yes, but he was
one of the rumors. Yeah.
He was also accused of being a wife beater.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's back when
That's
that was
right.
when that was acceptable.
When that
right?
was okay.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
okay, but-
When you could use as your excuse, I told her to shut up. You know.
Yeah, she has two black. The joke goes, the dark joke goes. She has two black eyes. Well, I told the bitch to shut up once. She wouldn't listen, so I hit her again.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so now here, can I tell you a great story? Though? Years ago, I was having an affair with a woman who shall go nameless, who was a major writer here in New York City for New York Magazine, and she lived, I can't remember where, and she decided she was going to take this hippie and give me New York culture, you know, and but also she wanted my dick. So that was the main thing.
Oh, you wanted her cunt.
So I would do my show at WPLJ, and I would get off at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I would take a cab over to her place, okay? And I would we'd fool around. Now, who lived under her, right under her, in the apartment right under her, was Gloria Steinem.
Oh, yeah.
And every morning as I was coming in, her boyfriend at the time, or the guy she was seeing, was leaving. And who was it? Jim Brown.
The football player?
Yes, Jim Brown. And I'm thinking to myself, what's she doing with the wife beater? She's Ms., you know?
Well,
I could never figure that one out.
12 inches.
Complicated relationship. A complicated 12-inch relationship.
Yeah. Everybody, and it got to a point where I would be coming so regularly, and he'd be leaving so regularly that we'd always say hi to each other in the hallway. You know, hi Jim, hi Alex, see you later. Okay, have a nice day. Boom, boom, boom.
People find out about this affair, Alex.
Huh?
And did people find out about this affair?
I don't know, and maybe not until now. But
and you said she remains nameless. You know, you make it easy for some asshole to snoop around. Who lived? Who was Gloria Steinem living beneath?
Well, this was at the time that she was doing the whole Ms. Magazine thing and everything. This was during that period of time, and I just it always, I knew what he had been accused of, and I went, but yet she's still seeing him. So I always wondered about that. But anyway, well, they're both alive, and they can sue me for what I just said. So they can sue Gabnet out of existence.
Hey, get 20% of nothing then.
Yeah. Well, don't make me feel bad. 20% of, I don't know, $1.50. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll sue you. I'll sue you, Bennett, for everything you have. Oh, really? The lawyer's going to cost more money. What?
He's deceased, right?
No, Jim Brown. No, not James Brown. Not.
No, I thought the singer was also gone.
I'm talking about Jim Brown. He was a movie star later on.
Oh, I thought he was dead too. Okay.
No, he was at this thing with Kanye West today with a cane
he
and with
was?
a beard
Oh, my
and
God.
looking old.
Wow.
He had that Uncle Remus look going for him.
Wow. Grammar.
But
he was damn good football player.
That's what I hear.
He only played for 8 years. He retired pretty early, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, Uncle Rim Job. That's the Uncle Reamer or Uncle Rim Job.
Brian, there are times I just don't know what to think about you.
Think about that,
boy. You're not the only one. Take solace in that.
Yeah. But anyway, if
Scott,
you get
are you in the new house?
If you get a chance, like you can find it on.
No, I had to move to the living room.
On CBS News, they have the CBS News online.
They do have the full meeting with Trump. And by the way, you should see the look on Trump's face. He's trying to act like he understands what's being said, which I couldn't even understand, okay? And B, like he was even fucking interested.
He couldn't even understand what's being said by a guy with an IQ of 62.
Yeah, but he also...
It was funny when they asked him if you think that Kanye West is going to be the next president, and he's like, maybe.
Yeah, but the thing was that, did you see it, Jason, any of it?
I just saw clips of it on the
news.
news.
I mean, but Trump was, and then at the end, Trump was going, "Oh, this was just amazing. This was
Trump
wonderful."
Loves celebrity, and since most of them shun him,
yeah.
he's going to show a lot of deference to any celebrity that doesn't.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I would love to have been there and say to Trump, "Okay, if this was so good, what did he just say?"
Right.
Because I couldn't understand it. It made no sense to me.
You're saying, Alex, you would have, unlike most journalists, you would have asked a viable follow-up question?
Well, that's just me.
Most of those talking heads, if not all those corporate sponsored talking heads, don't ask viable follow-up questions if they even ask them at all.
No, but if he said that, I would say to him, well, tell us what he just said, because quite frankly, I didn't understand a word of it. Because you can listen to this, and it's really the rantings of a guy who's admittedly off his meds. He said he quit his meds several weeks ago.
And the worst thing for black people was slavery ended.
Good for him.
He said something like that. Yeah. It was like freaking off the wall. It was like
the
Democrats put you into a trap when they ended slavery or something.
No, he said he was famous a while back for saying something to the effect that slavery was good for the blacks.
It was a choice because they let it last for 200 years.
Here's what
it was security.
Here's what I don't understand. Years ago, when you all were little children, a guy by the name of Sammy Davis Jr. decided to campaign for Richard Nixon. Now, Sammy Davis Jr. had always been very much a liberal, but he decided he was going to go campaign for Nixon. And at one point, he even hugged Richard Nixon. And that completely made him an anathema to the black community. They completely wrote him off because there he is hugging the most vile human being in America at the time. And so consequently, I wonder what is going to happen now that Kanye West went over today to Donald Trump and hugged him.
Oh, yeah.
I
wonder what Trump was thinking.
Was he? Yeah. That.
Trump.
But the other.
Yeah. Yes, Brian. You and then Ray.
Right. I was just going to say, if you're familiar with the guy, liberal philosopher, I call him a philosopher, Chris Hedges, who has said that in retrospect, Richard Nixon in the last 50 years may very well be our last liberal president on account of what that administration has given us, OSHA, EPA, so on and so forth. So, although in circa 1970, whenever it was, that Sammy Davis Jr. did this, and granted at that time he may have been regarded as a pariah by his own community, 50-some-odd years later, 40-some-odd years later.
Yeah. Well,
what we have now and what we have had now, including the disgusting Clintons.
Richard Nixon was a Republican, but at that time, being a conservative was a problem. He wasn't a conservative Republican. He was a middle-of-the-road Republican, pretty much. He
doesn't look so bad today.
According to
as I said, compared to Trump, he doesn't look too bad. Neither do the Bushes. In fact, neither does Adolf Hitler.
According to the Hedges, though, those agencies were created because he was that afraid of movements, of liberal movements,
Yeah.
encroaching on him.
Yeah. Okay, Ray, you had your hand up.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I looked up James Brown and Gloria Steinem So he wrote in his autobiography that he had an affair with her.
Oh.
A lot of people don't believe it.
Well, I saw it from my own two eyes, although
yes,
I was not.
Now we know it's true.
I was
for
not
sure.
in the room while they were fucking.
It started after she interviewed him for the magazine, and then his current girlfriend at the time got jealous, and he ended up throwing her down the stairs, in addition to his wife that he already beat up before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let one football player kneel during the national anthem, and everybody loses their fucking mind.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I'm here to tell you that do they say in that? I guess it's Wikipedia, right?
No, it's just some. It's what the hell is
Did it
this?
say that
That
he was alleged? They said that he was alleged to, but nobody believed him.
Well, it says here, it says he says in his autobiography, which sort of implies, who knows if it's true.
Well, it is absolutely true because I saw him at least, 5 mornings that I went over to this woman's place. And if I said her name, a lot of people in New York would know who she was. I don't even know if she's still alive or not. But I did see James Brown. It was definitely James Brown.
It says that Brown's fling with Steinem stirred up jealousy with his then girlfriend Eva Marie Bong Chin, kickstarting an argument that resulted in Brown being accused of tossing Bong Chin down a balcony.
Wow. I thought we broke a few of the bones in her teeth.
Man's man.
Yeah, well,
shit, the man's man, exactly.
Yeah. But so I never understood that relationship, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
But I got to meet James Brown. I never met Gloria Steinem though. She never came out the door with him. I met her in later years, and I didn't say to her, I used to go to see somebody upstairs, and I used to see James Brown leaving your apartment every morning. I didn't.
You met her when the bruises cleared a few years later.
That relationship was a hit.
Yeah. I interviewed her. I liked her, actually. I thought I always found her a little obnoxious, and when I interviewed her, I kind of liked her, Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised by certain people you wind up interviewing. I mean, the time I interviewed Adolf Hitler, I was amazed at how affable he was, and how down to earth he could get in just a private situation. So,
well, he's still alive down in Argentina or something.
Yeah,
so maybe you can
it's
interview
Brazil. He's running for president.
He's running.
Oh, Brazil. Okay.
He's running for president.
You see the freaking conservative they have down in Brazil running for president? He won. He didn't win, but he got the primary runoff.
Yeah. And they're afraid he's actually going to become president of Brazil.
Guy's freaking. He's a nut job.
Yeah, he does the
cool
finger.
Because he always
he does the finger.
Down to earth, he could get in just a private
He does
situation.
Go ahead, hit me. I'll hit you back.
He does the finger gun.
No, it's Brazil. He's running for president.
Oh, Brazil. Okay.
He's got finger guns.
You see the freaking conservative they have down in Brazil running for president? He won. He didn't win, but he got the primary runoff.
Wait, hold on a second.
They're afraid he's actually going to become.
Do you hear that sound, Jack? You hear that sound? It's your audio.
He does the finger.
Jack, hold on, Jack. Wait a minute, everybody, be quiet. Jack, your audio. Your audio.
Jack.
Don't you hear that, Jack?
Oh, Brazil. Okay.
He's got finger gun.
There you go. No, that's not it either. I'm gonna hang up on Jack. I can't take this. Oh boy.
He didn't realize he was feeding back all that.
I muted myself because the first voice I heard was me, so I thought it was me.
I almost freaked out.
I felt
talking to yourself in parallel dimension or something.
Yeah.
Talking, his lips aren't moving.
I felt like I was in a fucking time warp.
My Perrier.
Yeah. Jack, if you're listening, you had your audio up and it was coming back and coming back and coming back in a loop, and I had to hang up on you because it was driving us. Here we go again. All right. Any bets it still happens?
Jack needs a high-tech
hello,
lesson.
Jack, are you there? Jack?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I had my monitor feeding back through the board. I heard you guys. I heard you guys talking about the most despicable man
Can we see your video now?
Yeah. Oh, let me turn my video on. There we go.
Not that James Brown.
No.
Yeah.
No, Alex, when I left Houston and you were going to Chicago, I went to work for James Brown and worked for him for almost 4 years through...
but we're not talking about despicable people.
Well, he was despicable.
No, but we're not talking about despicable people. How did you bring that up?
Well, I heard you talking about James Brown.
No, I said that I used to meet him every morning as he was leaving Gloria Steinem's apartment, and I couldn't understand why she was fucking him because he was known to be a wife beater.
Yes, he was.
I didn't say he was the most disgusting person I ever met. In fact, he was quite charming, and we got to know each other every morning, waving goodbye as we were going. He made his booty call, and I was on to mine.
Well, one of the things that I wound up having to do one time during the time that I was working for Mr. Brown, as he liked to be called, was to defuse a situation where he had beaten up a woman in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And there were so many times that I got to the point where I could not stand to be in the same room with the man. And that's when I knew no matter how much money he was paying me, no matter what kind of rewards I might have had professionally, had to get my ass away from him before I killed the son of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've known people like that. Yeah. But that brings it around to the wife beating. So that's very good. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. The story is now all worth it. Why didn't you just, at some point when you were finally leaving, refer to him as, see you later, Jimmy?
Well, I just wanted to get away. I just didn't want to. It took.
You want to be his next bitch?
Really? It took me 10 years to get to the point where I did not hear the man's name and get angry.
Yeah.
And I kept running, over the years I've run into friends who knew that I worked for him because I was the national program director for his chain of stations.
Yeah.
They all asked me, including a cousin of mine who's a musician, what was it like? And I said it was like being somebody's bitch every day for everybody that worked for him.
Yeah. It was like the old version of Sarah Sanders. Right?
By the way, Patrick has his hand up. Yes, Patrick.
Just to clarify, because it does get a bit confusing, the gentleman you knew, Alec, was Jim Brown, the football player.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. I didn't know that guy.
Right. And that was what I was looking at, Jack.
Did you think I was saying James Brown?
Yes.
No, it's Jim Brown.
A reaction. Anytime I hear Brown, I think of James Brown.
No, it was Jim Brown, and we was dating, not dating. I think he was just booty calling Gloria Steinem, and we'd bump into each other.
They both had wife beating in common.
As I was going to my booty call.
Now I didn't know about Jim Brown being a wife.
We were betting.
Oh, yeah.
We were kind of booty call besties.
And Alex, I thought you knew what the confusion was. I thought you were just deliberately trying to fuck with Mr.
No,
Bishop.
I didn't know that. No.
Well, it would be an easy day to just to fuck with him because it's been one of those days.
Yeah, it's been one of those days. Yes, Patrick.
Yeah, and the only reason it was confusing is you were going between using the term Jim and James Brown for the football player.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the only reason.
Well,
For the wife beating too, like I said.
that was a confusing part for me.
Well, no, you have to realize that Jack still has PTSD from working for Jim Brown.
James
Brown.
Now he's just fucking him. Oh.
Yeah.
Take me to the bridge.
Little Jimmy Brown. Okay.
That's another song. That's the Three Brown song from 1956, the Three Bells.
Yeah. Boy, you sure remember the crap.
Hey,
that was a terrible song.
It was, but not all of us were able to have the glorious intellectual career that you had. Some of us were just grateful to have a paycheck every couple of weeks. And that's another thing. I didn't get paid by James Brown for 2 months once.
Oh, boy.
Why didn't you get paid by him?
That would have fucked me up. I would have started getting lippy with him. I don't care how famous he is. You fuck with my money, and that's it.
Well, we had bought the first radio station, which was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the guy that hired me had been my operations manager in Houston. And James Brown and his entourage, and he had a great business manager who couldn't control him. James would not give his business manager, who was an alumnus of Wall Street, guy with a CPA from some big Eastern school, he wouldn't give him the money to start a bank account to pay us. So I spent November and December with no paycheck. Luckily, I had some money saved up, and I was able to coast, and I never lived extravagantly, so I got by. But I remember that Christmas dinner for me was a grilled cheese sandwich.
Let me ask you a question, though, as a Negro American. That's what you like to be called these days, right? Negro.
No, I prefer being called a spear chunker, but that's another story.
Oh, that's okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, I would like to get a black person's opinion of the wonderful philosophy.
Come on, man. It's like 23% Mick.
In
the Oval Office today with Kanye West.
Well, I was thinking about that as I was coming home from the eye doctor, and I thought, Kanye, we need to take away your black guy card.
Yeah.
It needs to be revoked.
Yeah.
At least with James Brown supported Richard Nixon.
Yes, right. We mentioned that earlier.
And
so did Sammy Davis Jr.
So did Sammy Davis Jr.
Who got vilified by the black community for hugging Richard Nixon. And today, guess what Kanye West did to Donald Trump?
I saw.
Yeah.
He hugged him?
He hugged him.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that icky?
Well, yeah, the grease.
Well, look, here's the problem that you have. Here's the problem that you have with guys who were poor and then suddenly make a lot of money. They really begin to believe that they're going to get invited to the country club.
No, well, they're wrong. Hey, Jason. Yeah. Jason's got his hand up.
So this is what I have to ask you, Jack. Don't you think that actually the black community is secretly Republicans and they don't realize it? Because a lot of their beliefs as far as homosexuality, religion, abortion, a lot of their beliefs, at least here in Detroit where I see, they'll sit there and say they're a Democrat all day long, but then I sit there and listen to their social beliefs. And it's like, dude, you're not a Democrat, you're a Republican.
Well, I wonder when we're going to suddenly separate our social beliefs from our political beliefs.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think that it's kind of sickening that that we don't separate those. But
it's all in the same because the political parties make
religious beliefs too.
I mean, you should be able to be a Republican who believes in abortion.
Right.
Okay.
Should be able to.
Because the
libertarians do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we're talking about the social ethics as opposed to.
Well, when you sit there and you're anti-abortion,
you're
you're anti-homosexuality, you're anti, all this and that the Republicans are, and what I see working in Detroit, a lot of the community in Detroit is. I wonder how you do not call yourself a Republican because you're anti all of this and that, with your social beliefs.
Well, Jason, I'm going to answer your question. Up until the 1930s in Franklin Roosevelt, the black community in America traditionally had voted Republican.
Abe Lincoln.
Because it was a Republican Party that, ended slavery.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly is what you hit upon is I always jokingly tell my black friends who say, well, why the hell are you a Unitarian? And I said, because I've read some books along the way. Yes, I would say many black people in this country, if the Republican Party would say, all right, we do believe in equality of opportunity, et cetera, would be Republicans. But we know that when they talk about equality, it's for the sons of the well-to-do.
But, here's a good question. You used to have a thing in the South called the Dixiecrats. Basically, They were Democrats who were Southerners. And they were racist, and they were everything else, okay? Right. What happened to the Dixiecrats? I think they became Republicans, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, does anybody besides me and Alex remember the Nixon Southern strategy?
I know the term. I wasn't following politics like that back in those days.
My father wasn't even jacking off yet, so no, I don't remember.
Well, I read about it. But...
Slow learner, huh? When Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Acts of the 60s, he turned to some of his Democratic cohorts and said, we have lost the South for at least a generation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Nixon very quickly glommed onto what had actually happened, and you started seeing droves and droves of what had been Southern white Democrats, because that was the party that they affiliated with because of the Civil War, suddenly flipped over when you started seeing black kids and white kids and Chinese kids and any other
Mexicans.
Mexicans, as we say here in Texas.
Canadians.
Going to school together. A good friend of mine from Houston was amongst the first kids to go into an integrated school system in Houston, Texas. When Alex and I were working together, I met this guy. And he told me about the kind of stuff that he endured going to, I can't remember the school, but going through that. And I'm sitting there, I'm as black as he is, and maybe a little blacker, except for that 23% Irish and Scottish I found out about here a few weeks ago. I couldn't have lived like that. There were dead honkies on the floor in that high school. I had been there.
Anyway, you got to go and go do a show.
Go. I'm almost ready to do a show, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Do I have to remind you?
It helped.
Thank you, Jack. Hey, listen, thanks to all of you. This has been a great little Happy Fizzies party here tonight, and we've hardly delved into politics at all. Isn't that wonderful?
The history of politics.
What'd you say? What?
The history of politics.
The history of politics we got into. But hey, thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you do for us, too. Thanks for the new spot, which I will put together tomorrow. Brian, thank you for joining us. Patrick, always a pleasure. Ray, it was nice having lunch with you here in New York.
Same here, Alex.
Yeah. Scott, you got to come to New York. Let me go to lunch with you. I've been to lunch with Jeff. And Jason, you come to New York and have lunch with me, too. Everybody, come to New York. I'll buy you all lunch, okay? Give a big wave goodbye to the people out there who are watching so they know you're going away. That's our citizen panel, folks. That's what they look like, and that's where they are. That's it for tonight. I'm Alex Bennett. I will be here again tomorrow night, right after us. Jack has The Intersection, followed at 1 o'clock this morning by Connections. Tomorrow night, Damian Chaplin with The Exchange, and then at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, same station in life. I'll be right back here, and if you see her, as always, tell her I love her. Okay? Bye.